So I'm up late scrolling through the YouTube streets and I come across several posts related to, sorry about that, but I come across several posts related to cash. And I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about the different spectrums of what it is to live in the trans community. Because based upon a lot of the posts that I've seen, it seems as if cash upset a lot of women. And one thing I do want everyone to remember off rip is that Cash is still young. She's still growing, and whatever she said today may not be her feelings in another year or two as maturity sets in and her life experience expands. So I would ask that everybody give her just a little bit of grace in that area. Now, talking about the different spectrums of the trans experience, right? You have one spectrum in which an individual may feel as if there is something that does not mesh or correlate between their biological birth order and the way that they think, the way that they feel, and the way that they see the world around them. And so, in order to balance that out or to make it make sense for them so that they can function in the world in a way that allows them to have some semblance of peace, right? And so, they will dress up, they will use enhancements, whether it's makeup, hair, whatever the case may be, in order to appear more feminine or as feminine as humanly possible for that individual. And just as in any man space or woman space, you're going to have people who are born in certain shapes and sizes, but that does not change whatever is going on inside the mind. And so, in that particular spectrum, these will be people who, while they present themselves in what they believe are the physical characteristics and attributes of femininity, they don't necessarily want to cross over into the, I'm trying to be really respectful. And give me a second. So they don't want to cross over into the more medically altered spectrum of the transgender experience. And so, in that spectrum, you have a number of people who feel the same way the people in group one feel, but they take it a step further and they decide that they want to actually become what they see in the mirror. and what they see in their mental mirror as well. Because I think a lot of times that we think of how we look at ourselves based upon what we can physically see, but then there's that mental mirror and how we see ourselves in our mind, in our brain, the way that we think of ourselves, right? And so, back to that spectrum, you have that number of people who wish to remove the body part that causes them the mental distress. And that is probably the most extreme, and I use the word extreme not in a bad way, by the way, but that is the most extreme end of the spectrum. Now we're going to talk about how within these spectrums people kind of operate. And again, transgenderism is not a one size fits all approach to life. Just as in any other group of people, you're going to have people who feel differently than others about things. And I should also tell you off rip that the black trans community and the white trans community are not the same. But I think that we could probably say the same about the um, black and white hetero community. But I think that in the black and white hetero community, you're probably more on accord about things than we are. There are a lot of policies that people try to push and agendas that people try to legislate regarding the trans community that a lot of us in the black trans community don't necessarily co-sign. I know, speaking for myself, I know I don't co-sign many things. But one thing I will co-sign for everybody in life is being able to live in one's truth and to live in a way that affords you as much peace and dignity as possible. But in doing so, I do think that you have to be very careful about not making. Guys, I have five sisters. Five sisters. And I have probably 15 or more nieces. I'm talking about beautiful young ladies. If you look in my post, you'll see one that just graduated from high school, but just some beautiful girls. And the one that has her arm around her graduated from college, and I mean, these are the type of women that fortunately my family does foster. We do tend to foster very strong, able minded black women who are a source of pride to me and my family and a credit to their communities. I have one in theater. I have one who, I'm not going to say too much, but anyway, they're all doing exceedingly well. I'm talking, everyone has higher than average level education. So amongst my nieces, you're going to find bachelors and masters, and I believe one or two of them has a doctorate or is working on a doctorate. My point is that black women are so much more than just what's between their legs, right? And their femininity, even their femininity is about much more than what's between their legs. So when you are beautiful enough that they are, because I do notice that just as in the hetero community, in our community, there's pretty privilege, right? And we body shame and so a lot of times what people will accept and who they will accept and show the respect that that person would prefer, a lot of times depends on whether or not you were born with the look. And if you were not born with the look, then you just were not born with the look. And it is what it is. So when you were born with that, or you've taken the steps to enhance what you were born with so that you then extend your privilege, right? Use it wisely. Excuse me. Use it wisely and be very careful that you don't make black women feel as if you don't respect their place in this world, a place that literally God gave them at the end of the day. So when you have that pretty privilege as a transgender, you're going, the hetero spaces are open a lot wider for you than someone like myself who does not hold that particular card. Now, there are some other cards I hold. Baby, I'm intelligent. I'm a domestic. I can cook. I know how to take care of a home. I've been a leader in every community I've lived in. I'm politically astute, politically involved, politically savvy. So I know what, oh, and I'm stylish as hell. Let me just throw that in there. But anyway, I know what works for me. I know what cards I have in my box, and I'm fine with them because I be trying to max them cards out. You feel me? So if you hold the pretty privilege card, the spaces are more open for you. So you have to be very, I don't want to use the word appreciative because I there's a sentiment that I'm trying to get out, but it's basically that you don't need to necessarily walk on eggshells, but just recognize that the eggshells are there. Because no matter how, this is the kind of cake that no matter how you slice it, there's never going to be enough for everyone, and not everyone is going to enjoy it, right? It's one of those things. So again, when you have that ability to move in hetero spaces, you have to understand that the female part of the hetero spaces is and should be a heavily guarded space, and for good reason, because think about it, like, first of all, natural born biological black women are a class of people who are constantly, and I mean constantly, under attack. They are the most ridiculed and often by black men. They are the most memed in social media. They are the most politically targeted, and somehow they are the most educated class of people in the United States of America, black women. You cannot just claim their space. You can't just claim their space. And I know I'm going to get so much backlash for this. I can hear the narratives being set up now. But you cannot claim my mother's space. You cannot just take my niece Imani's space. You can't just take Nyaja's space. You can visit. You can spend time. You can hang out. You can share in it. But you cannot just take the space. And by the way, I am not saying that that was what anyone is trying to do. But what I'm saying is that I know that based upon some of the things that was said that upset a lot of women in the street sector of YouTube, I know I know how that can get processed. And see, for me, even having this talk, I'm I'm literally walking a live wire as a member of the LGBT and particularly the T community because at the end of the day, I love these folks. I do. But at the same time, I am a realist and I am on the first end of the spectrum. And so maybe I retain a certain sense of duty to protect black women in a way that might get lost in the transitional process for some. I repeat, might get lost in the transitional process for some. As I've spoken about before, I knew when I embarked on this journey in my life that there would be limits set. Intentional limits. Hey, Vibes Queen. I'm just noticing people in here. Get out of here. Y'all, I swear to God, this is too funny. I just looked down at this phone because I'm so used to nobody being in here for a live. I'm like, I look down at the phone. I'm like, okay, Vibes Queen is here. There's some people in here. All right, so let's talk about it. Um, I knew when I began this journey that I would have to set limits. Because, first of all, my siblings had children. They lived in rough and tumble neighborhoods. There was always something popping up. I remember at one point there was this group of guys in my nephew's neighborhood, right? And my nephew was a good kid. He was raised in church, and his mom was not one of these, I call it one of these YN crash out mothers. That was never, my sister was never that. So she was raising good kids, and these boys in the neighborhood wanted my nephew to be in this gang. And I mean, they were pressuring him and trying to bully him and whatnot. And so, of course, my sister brought it to my attention. And I had to go handle that. I had to go handle that like a man, like a man. I had to handle it like a man. And I did. Point being, I back to limits. For me, and again, this is not me saying what anyone else needs to do or should be doing. Our community is just as diverse as the hetero community, so don't expect us to be on one accord about anything because again, the heterosexual community has their own divisions. But again, for me, I know that when my mom needs me, when my sisters need me, I know I know what I have to show up as. And if people can't understand that, or if that makes me less welcome in a community that no one owns any darn way, then I'm really okay with that because see at the end of the day, I realize my life is about my peace too. Not just making everyone around me happy or whatever the case may be. Like my life is about my peace of mind, my well-being, and also like I I for me like I couldn't just be selfish and just take 100% away my mom's son. I could not just be selfish and just say to my mom that, you know, you can't have any bit of your son at all. Like, you just, boom, you get a daughter, you get nothing. That wasn't going to work for me. That just is not going to work for me. And again, this is not to say that how anyone else needs to live. In fact, it's literally me asking people to respect the fact that, because I get a whole lot of, oh, you look like a man. Well, what the hell am I? I'm not a man. I, you see, and then that just like defeats the argument when you try, because like, excuse you, what do you mean I look like a man? That's what I am. I mean, but anyway, so getting back to this whole idea of respecting the space that black women created on whatever day it was when Jesus created human beings, right? When God created human beings, we have to respect that space. And there's no, it's not, it's not a our space thing. It's a their space thing. And I, I, I can't, I just can't, for me, I just can't claim that space. I just can't say I'm you and you're me. And for anyone who wants to comment about my appearance and why, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. Because number one, I don't give a, okay? And number two, it does not change reality. It does not change. There are just certain things in life that like you just can't change. Like grass is going to be green. It's going to be green. Now you may find it in other colors in other regions, a yellow color, a yellowish, tannish, whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, grass is going to be green. So there are certain things in life that you learn you have to accept, and and you can still build a good life for yourself around a reality too, because I've been able to do that for the most part. And so yeah, let me see if anybody has any question. I'm so not even. Oh my God, I didn't even. Okay. Yaya. Hey, sweetie, how you doing? Look at Yaya. Okay. And Vibes Queen. Who else we got in here? I'm so not used to reading. Oh my Lord. Golden Signatures. Hey, Dom. Vibes and Yaya, thank you for sharing the link. Yes, and I appreciate you for sharing the link as well. I really appreciate that. And I also want y'all to know, y'all got to keep in mind now, I'm a woman of a certain age. Okay. Woman in quotes, by the way, in quotations. I'm a woman of a certain age. And this is a new platform and a new media, a new medium for me that I'm learning. So if the streaming is struggling, if you feel as if I haven't gotten it yet, just give me a little bit of time. I'm working it out. But yes, I have a lot to learn. Lotus Flower Bomb. I love Lotus. I read a lot of your comments in vibes chats, and I always do enjoy them. We have Amara Del Mar. Amara Del Mar. That's a pretty name, Amara. I have. Well, I was about to say something. Um, yeah, I did say hello to Yaya. Okay, well, I do appreciate everybody for pulling up, and if you use this commentary or whatever, of course, that's perfectly fine. Um, but just please, like, kill off any types of narratives regarding any. This is not like a jealousy thing. Like, I really, really want the best for Cash. This is like a OG putting somebody on about how to kind of navigate this situation and nothing more than that. So with that said, I'm gonna say good night to everyone, or I guess it's technically good morning. Oh wait, but then again, hold on. It is. Wait, let me see. It's good to hear your perspective. Learned a lot. Oh, you're welcome, Amora. There'll be more. There'll be more to come. I promise you that. But anyway, like I was saying, you guys have a enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. I'm glad you enjoyed listening to Vibes Queen. I always enjoy listening to you, that's for sure. All right, everyone, y'all take care.